I'm a dish with D. That's me. Thank you for coming to this video, making yourself a priority. I am Denise. I am here with a little collab today with my friend Danielle Nicole. Danielle and I are very similar on our journeys. We've both switched plans at the same time. We both switched plans at the same time again. So I thought she would be the perfect person to collab with me. I did collab with her a few months ago about macros and calories and why we decided to track that. But now we're both back to WW. And this is a collab. Why? Why did we go back to WW? You know, I thought it'd be interesting. I know a lot of people, it confuses a lot of people, and I totally understand that. I totally understand the confusion, like, oh my gosh, why? Well, before we get into that, I'd like to thank Danielle. Thank you, Danielle, for joining me on this collab. I can't wait to see what you have to say about why you went back. I'm sure a lot of our comparatives are going to be very similar, but let's get started. And like I said, I do apologize because I know some people get confused. Like, you were just, and some people didn't even know I left. I didn't like leave completely. I just didn't track in the app. And you know, if you don't know, I am a lifetime member, currently over goal. So my app cost me $14.95 a month for app and meetings. So yeah, I was not having a great time on Weight Watchers. I'm not gonna lie, you know that. I just don't know if it was the plan or was it me or was it a combination of both. I couldn't answer that. All I know is I was just in a rut. Just kind of tired of it. So I decided to try counting macros and calories. Now, I'm glad I did it. I do not have any regrets doing that. I learned a lot, but I will tell you, it's very daunting. Tracking is one of those things that I have to really force myself to do. I'm not gonna lie. And I will say that doing macros and calories was even worse because you have to track literally everything. Where Weight Watchers has the 0-point foods. Now, mind you, I never tracked my 0-point foods. Should you? I think at some point for something, well, I shouldn't say that because some things I do track, most of them I don't. But I do weigh and measure them, so I always stick to the serving size, so I'm not like eating a bunch of chicken, I don't know how much. I'm not eating a bunch of fish. I'm not eating shrimp mindlessly. I know what I'm eating. So definitely I keep to portion size for those 0-point foods. But I was just, like I needed something different. And I don't regret going to macros and calories. Did I see much success on the scale? I didn't. I've been pretty much maintaining probably for the last year. I'm 10 pounds over goal. Well, actually, I'm 15 because I'll get to that. Well, no, every time I say that, I never go back to it because I hate to jump around, but because of getting weighed at Weight Watchers, of course, their scale's heavier. And of course, I have to get weighed dressed. And I'm going to tell you, since I stopped going to meetings, I've been getting weighed stark naked. Why not, right? So I had to account for my clothes and a different scale. So yes, so it just was, very daunting to me, but I did learn a lot. I did learn about the types of foods I was gearing myself towards and the amount of food I could eat, because when you're tracking calories, it's much more specific. It is. You could see, you have X amount of calories and you could say, wow, this is right on Weight Watchers, but I still have plenty of calories left. I will say the algorithm that's currently being used, I think is just kind of off-putting to me, but knowing that of the amounts that I need to eat has helped that. That's why I chose to do the diabetic plan. We'll get back to that too. But I did learn a lot about the types of foods, and I also learned that counting calories isn't the be-all end-all either. When I first started a few months back, I had say a Starbucks drink. It cost you 11 points, maybe 12, maybe 13 or 15 points on Weight Watchers, but it was 280 calories or 310. I could fit, because I had towards the end of my calorie counting, my calories of my workouts had increased. So I was able to have around 1550 calories per day. So I could fit in a 320 calorie drink, not realizing that what was in that drink was something that was working against me. It had cane sugar, it had this, it had that, things that I haven't eaten or used in a long time. Of course, that's my choice. I'm not sitting there telling you should not have cane sugar. No, this is not that channel for that. You have what you want on your journey. It's not me to sit there and say, this is good, this is bad. It's something for my lifestyle. It just didn't work. And I was having the sugar cravings again. I'm like, I couldn't figure out why is all I want to do is eat. And I sat back one day and I went, oh my gosh, you've been eating, like drinking. And I was, since I could fit them in, I was drinking them 2 to 3 times a week because I could. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I realized, and I have a whole video about the sugar. And people have said that it's not addictive. I say everybody's different. And for me, it did not work. And I could see the difference not having real sugar versus like monk fruit, stevia. It doesn't do that to me. So, long story short, I was just not having success. And I was kind of like, oh, this is just not working. And so I saw a Facebook post in a group that I belonged to where I used to go, my old Weight Watchers meeting, that they were moving. Now where I used to go was about 35 minutes, 40 minutes from here to there. Then they moved about 15 minutes down the pike, 10, 15 minutes. So I just couldn't justify a 45-minute drive there one way, then 45 minutes back. And as some of you probably say, oh my gosh, I'd kill for that because there's 2 hours for me. And I totally understand that. We're talking me here. Girl don't like to drive, so she wasn't doing that. But when I saw they were moving to Sewell, which is 20 minutes from my house, I was like, I literally got giddy. And I went, since I was already paying for the meetings, I'm like, oh, I'm going to go back. And also it came out before I could even catch myself. You want to go back? Apparently I did. So when I made the decision that I was going to attend on Fridays, I knew they were going to start the week prior. Their first meeting was going to be Saturday. And I just don't want to do Saturday. I want to do Friday because I used to do Friday originally when I was going there back after COVID and stuff. So the first Friday was last Friday. And I'm like going, oh my gosh, I'm going to go. And I made a reservation and everything. And after I kind of made that decision, I felt so good, empowered. And I thought, you know what? Maybe you want to go back to Weight Watchers. Is there anything wrong with it? No. And I've had this animosity. I think a lot of people have had such animosity because of all the changes they've made and the decisions that the company has made with the injectables and the medications and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, I'm still not thrilled about that. Doesn't affect me because I don't take them. But does that mean that the plan, like, you can't judge a book by its cover. You can't judge a company by its plan. Or it's, yes, you're giving them money and you really don't support them. I try to understand that. But I got so giddy with excitement and I thought, this has nothing, there's a B. Has nothing to do with that. So I thought to myself, do you really want to go back? Obviously I did. And the closer it came to that day, the more excited I became. And to me, that was a big old red flag. Like, why are you getting that excited? It's not like you've never been there before. I really was. I got really excited. And people ask me, I get asked all the time on my channel and my Facebook group, why'd you go back? And these are my reasons. It's easy. It's easy. I've done this plan or a version of their plan since 2013. Yes, they change, but the simplicity of it always remains the same. What really changes is how you calculate points per se, and maybe 0-point foods. But the whole concept has always been the same. And I've been such a proficient tracker there. Like, I just feel like it just feels natural to me. And I've been tracking diligently since last Friday. And I'm really excited. And I think that says a lot. I love the community. The community of I'm able to have a meeting. And I know everybody does. And I totally understand that that's something that's upsetting. And I totally get that. But I can get to a meeting. And I can. And I'm going to. I am going. So that community is there for me. And today's meeting, this is Friday, I'm filming this. Today's meeting was phenomenal. This girl, who I haven't had in a long time, she's fantastic. The meeting went over. I didn't even care. And Steve's texting me going, where are you? I'm like, yeah, you're just going to have to wait because that meeting was that good. She hit on so many good points, things that I've been missing. And I just love the community, and I love the online community as well. I mean, if you go into Connect and all that, there's so many good things on there and so many good people, and the camaraderie is good, and everybody gets you. Like, you walk through that door to a meeting, you're not like, oh my God, you haven't been here? They're like, oh my God, welcome back. They're happy always. I've done many walks of shame. I have. And every time I've been welcomed back with open arms. And that's just the community. They said it's not the company that I think about. It's the community that runs it. So all the people, the guides and the coaches have always been phenomenal. That is a weird looking bee. You better leave me alone. So definitely the reason. The recipes. I love the app. The app with the recipes and all the fun things that's in it. We're going to do another app tutorial once I get real familiar with the new changes. I do. The recipes, the ease of finding them. There's always something on there that I like, and it's right at my fingertips. So that is a huge thing, and it's all figured out for me. I don't got to put nothing in. I mean, I could change a few things if I wanted, but everything is there. Gives me the points, gives me everything I need. And like, if you wanted to count macros for certain things, if you look up a food item, if you scroll down to the thing, it gives you, and I could technically track that if I choose to. It's there. Calories, macros are there. You just have to go down to nutrition. They're not in the recipes, which is a little bit of a disappointment, but I'm not really counting macros and calories. Even if I were, it's one recipe. If I could sit there and do the rest of the day, if I wanted to track my macros and calories, I could, and I could pretty much give it a guesstimation. But I made goal there. Denise, who has really been heavy for 45 years of her life, made a goal. I reached my weight loss goal. That in myself tells me volumes. I am very comfortable there. I'm very familiar there. It's like home. And I feel bad that I left. But like I said, when you're going through that time, if you're not following, it is time to leave. And you do get a new appreciation when you go back. But I did make goal there. I did succeed. And I felt like I could succeed again. So that was a big thing. It's very much a lifestyle plan. I felt like I was on a diet, counting everything that I had to eat. Now, some people say, well, you don't have to count vegetables. It defeats the purpose of counting calories if you don't count everything. And in some things, you'd be surprised that have a lot of calories that's a vegetable. I shouldn't say a lot of calories, but something like, especially if you're looking for macros and stuff. So you need to track all that. But I felt like this was lifestyle. I get to the point where I've mentioned before that I use the quick add option all the time because I've been on the plan for so long. I know what the points of this is. I know what the points of that are. I don't need to sit there and put an English muffin, egg, Canadian bacon. I've eaten it so much that I know that sandwich is 4 points. I put in there, quick add sandwich, 4 points, done. Track, let's eat. So I feel like there's so much familiarity. It's still lifestyle for me because, and people hate this when I say this, but I feel like for me, I'm going to have to track the rest of my life. And I'm not sad about that because I feel like if that's what I have to do to maintain my health, wellness, and weight loss, a couple seconds before each meal, or even a minute or two, isn't that worth it? And I always say yes. I do, because if that's all I have to do to maintain all this, it is worth that little bit of, and the more you track, the easier it becomes because you get familiar. And if you're like me, you pretty much eat the same gamut of things. You're always eating oats. You got the same bread. You got the same cheese. You got, you eat the same foods pretty much. So it's going to be easy, and get it in. Do I miss the wins? Yeah, I do. It was fun getting free things for working. I do. I like the accountability. I like the fact that even now, if you can't get 2 meetings, there is online workshops. You could check in on an online meeting if you're having a bad day. You could check in and attend one of those if you get that plan. Now, if you're online only, you don't have that option. But if you get the plans with the Zooms, you can check in if you need to. Granted, it's not the same as being there. I will tell you that. It isn't. But sometimes it's better than nothing. I mean, if you don't have anything, if that's all you have, it's something. It's something. Because you have all these other apps on your phone. They don't have that. Once in a while, you do have Healthy does have a meeting and stuff like that, but not as much as you can get a Weight Watchers meeting any time of the day. 7 days a week. almost 24 hours a day. I would say they probably go to 7 a.m. to 12 midnight. So there's a meeting that's more you can find. And I like that they're doing a little bit more tailored meetings to specific subjects, which I think is interesting. They're trying to make it more familiar. But it worked. It worked for me. And I have that to think about, like, this plan worked for you. It works if you work it. So have I been working it probably before I left? No. Sometimes we take it for granted. We think, oh, it just is automatically going to come. Sometimes we think we don't have to put the work in. I always tell you all the time, it takes work. And I'm the first one who sat there and didn't work. Fell on my laurels and said, you know what? I'm just, sometimes it's not the plan. Sometimes it's you. And I think it's for me. It's, I've just gotten very lax on it. But the accountability, the familiarity worked for me. And like now that I can go to a meeting, I do. And I am on the diabetic plan currently. People ask me, why are you diabetic? I am not diabetic. I am not pre-diabetic. I like the fact that it's slightly more accountability. I get a few more points. I mean, yes, you have to count fruit and I think yogurt. Yogurt's one of the things that I probably have fruit. I mean, there's days I don't have fruit. It's not something I gravitate towards. But I always think when I do have it, I have to count the points. I think it's still a good option. Yes, I dig into my weeklies, but it's still a good option, still fruit. Just because it's 2 or 3 points doesn't make it a bad option. That's what, use those weekly points. Don't be afraid of them because they're there for a reason. So I like having the 28 points a day. I've learned that I wasn't eating enough. And I think it's the algorithm that changed that kind of didn't work in my favor for whatever reason. I'm hopeful that maybe they'll change the algorithm come November. I don't know. I haven't heard anything. Let's put that out there. I've not heard. This is when it's usually going to happen. So I'm kind of hopeful that they're going to do that. I don't know that for sure. That would be great because I feel like this algorithm just not jiving for me for certain items. And I feel like a change would be nice. But I'm trying to read my handwriting. But those are my basic things. And I really felt that the pivotal moment was my excitement. And I captured that on my video last week, and I will link that at the end if you haven't seen it. The excitement I got was ridiculous. When I looked back at that, I'm like, oh my God. I couldn't even tell you. I was excited like a kid on Christmas morning. Why? I guess going back to meetings, going back to something I'm familiar with, that I'm comfortable with, that I've missed. I have missed. I didn't want to stop meetings. Had they not moved, I would probably still would be driving that 35-minute drive because I enjoyed them that much. So I'm super excited that they're closer to me. And like I said, today's meeting was fantastic. Literally phenomenal. But yes, those are my big reasons. The ease, the community, the lifestyle, ability of this plan. I can count much easier. So yeah, if you're tired of counting calories and watch, this is an easier way to be accountable. I'll put myself out and I'm going to say that, at least in my experience, for me, it has been much easier. So definitely, like I said, I'm doing the diabetic plan. Will I always do the diabetic plan? I don't know. I mean, I did. Here's a tip too. I made a stuffed French toast last week, and I had an apple. Well, the apple had a little bit of a kind of a brown spot on it. So I cut it off, I chopped it up, and I weighed it. And it shaved off a point. So instead of being a 3-point apple, it was a 2-point apple. So sometimes weighing your food, especially fruit, if you have to count it, you could, I weigh my bread. If I have sourdough bread, I weigh my bread. Because sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's smaller. So you want the correct amount of points. It just makes you more accountable. Definitely, especially if you're eating the end of the bread, that's always thinner than the rest of the bread. So I've learned that, yeah. And I just going back to old favorites of mine, the things I haven't made, and you're going to be seeing that through the channel. Like, I went back on my old recipe blog, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I've made this in forever. And these are things I lived on. But I guess I'm always trying to let's create something new. Well, yeah, it's fun to create something new, but sometimes it's to go back to something old that you really loved. There's an apple fritter that I made, or was it a pear fritter? Was it a pear apple fritter? There's just different things I was going back on. Going, oh my God, somebody asked me for the brownie batter hummus recipe. I can't tell you the last time I made that. and it's one of my favorites. I was like, whenever I think, oh my God, I forgot about that. That was really good. I made my own dip the other day. Like, I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really getting back into some of my old favorites. So that is the reason I went back to Weight Watchers. And I will tell you, and I will come out on a limb and say this, I've gotten such a welcome from you guys about it. I've been touched. How many people have come back to my channel? They're like, oh my gosh, we're so glad to do Weight Watchers again. I didn't realize that nobody, that people were that. I assumed everybody hated Weight Watchers, to be honest with you. I'm a little bit shocked to see the love for WW. But the love is out there. The love is potent and powerful because I've seen it. So yeah, I mean, we might not be bragging about it because, what's going on. Everybody wants to admit that they like Weight Watchers, but they do. So I thank you for welcoming me back. And I am happy to be here. I'm happy to make this all about Weight Watchers again here on this channel. I'm excited about what the future holds for us. I'm excited about showing you, I'm calling my day in the life of a Weight Watcher. You're going to see what I do, what I eat, and the points and stuff like that. And to be honest with you, it's a little bit easier to film and give you those points. I've been enjoying it. I really have. I'm like, this is like old home week. I felt like I came home. And that's a great feeling. So I want you to have that feeling. And like I said, if you're thinking about going back to Weight Watchers and you've left, I always say, go on there, see if they have a deal going, and sign up for like 3 months. Give yourself 3 months if they have something like that. Sometimes it's 6. But if you really are thinking about going back, might be something to that, because I feel like if you're not excited about your journey, something needs to change. So, and I think it was a good experience for me to go. Like I said, I don't regret leaving at all. Absolutely. I learned a lot about myself and my body and what I need. So I thought it was a really good experience to do that. I don't regret any of it. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think you should experiment all you want. Try. That's why it's a journey, because different paths, different challenges. So definitely, if you're thinking about it, definitely I say give it a try. Or if you know what, you can go on iTrack Bites Healthy. You can get on that app. They have the green plan for free. If you wanted the blue plan, I think you have to get the professional. See that bee or that wasp on there. So if you're thinking about that plan, you don't want to commit to Weight Watchers, you want to commit to a year of healthy, I think a professional year is probably around $35, I think, for the whole year. And I do have a $5 off healthy. They gave me a discount code to offer to anybody that wants to join their pro version. You can't renew it for the $5 off if you're but if you're coming back, like say you left and you want to rejoin again, that $5 will work. It just doesn't work to renew it. So I definitely have that. And also, if you want a free month of WW, I could sit there and give you a free month. It's like a refer a friend. So if you ever need that, I have that. Everything is always in the description box below. So that is it. Thank you for your support. Thank you, Danielle Nicole, for collabing with me on this. I knew you'd be the perfect person because her and I are very similar in our journeys. So it's just funny that we both left and we both came back at the same time. So I think that's a lot of fun. So go check out Danielle. She's fantastic. She does meal prep. She does recipes. She does the weigh-in. So I know a lot of people are looking for people to do the weigh-in. I've had many people say to me, nobody's doing the WW meeting topic or their weigh-in anymore. You're still doing, I've done a WW topic religiously. Oh God, even when I was off, I still did that. I had it and people enjoyed it. So it's an easy video to film, not gonna lie. It's an easy video to film. So that's usually is on Mondays. The Monday on this channel is weigh-in and Weight Watchers topic. Tuesday's what I eat in a day. Wednesday is who knows. Thursday is my vlog day, and Friday is who knows. Fridays, sometimes it's Food Finds Friday or some kind of fun video. So you just never know what's going to pop up on this channel. If you ever have any ideas for a video, always email me, dishwithd@yahoo.com, and say, "Dad, I got an idea for a recipe." Or a recipe too. If you inspire my recipe, I name it after you. So I've named my recipes after many of my fabulous lovelies. So always email me with your ideas. And I would love to be creative and think about you guys. But anyway, that is it for me. Thank you so much for being understanding, kind, and wonderful, because you are, and welcoming me back. And I'm super excited to see what the journey takes. I am. Like I said, today's meeting was phenomenal. Last week's was good. We had a sub last week. This week we had the regular girl who does Fridays, and she was literally, it was She was awesome. She was probably one of the best meetings I've ever been to. Because I forgot how much I liked her. I just couldn't go on Fridays because I worked. But now I can go on Friday mornings. And she was fantastic. So you just never know. So that is it for me. If you enjoy this video, let me know a big old thumbs up. If you have not hit that subscribe button, join us here at Dish with D. We love to have you as part of our YouTube family. I want you to go over and take a look at Danielle Nicole. I will have her linked down below. And I will dish with you another day. Thank you guys and have a great rest of your day. And whatever plan you do, boo, is your choice. I support you, and, because it's a journey. And who knows what path we have to take. Later, lovelies.